everybody, it's Stacy Duffy here, your Denver Metro real estate resource. And in this video, I wanted to talk about first-time homebuyer programs. So I get the question a lot, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions with it or misunderstandings of, what's available to me because I'm a first-time buyer. I haven't bought anything before. So what program do I get, or what discount, or what tax refund or grant or something like that? Those do come around from time to time. But just because you haven't bought a home before doesn't mean there's something you get that everybody else doesn't necessarily. So I would say they do come around more often in economic downturns, right? When people are trying to help someone buy a home who maybe couldn't normally buy a home, or they want to spur some economic growth and spending and things like that. Back in 2008, there was the first-time homebuyer tax refund, which was fantastic. That's how I bought my first home. Took full advantage of that. But they're not out there all the time. Timing is the biggest thing with this. So, not saying that when, the economy's doing great that there aren't options out there, but a lot of times they aren't specific to first-time buyers, right? They're more, I would say they're usually restricted by income, or by, assets or something like that. So it's not that maybe you've owned a home before and you still need some financial help. You can get that. But anyway, I'm just going to talk about a couple of the most common ones, at least here in the state of Colorado. So depending on what state you're in, even what county you're in, I know some down payment assistance programs that are county specific, okay? So even like USDA home loans, there's some good stuff there, but you have to be in, agricultural or rural properties, not urban properties, all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of different things depending on what you're looking for. First thing, stop wasting time watching this video. If you want to know what's available to you right now, where you're at, call your lender, okay? I'm not your lender, I can't help with that. But if you don't have a lender, or you're like, what's a lender? Call your local trusted realtor. And if you don't have a local trusted realtor, ask your friends, your family, your coworkers for a referral or somebody that they use that they were happy with. And interview more than one agent, because you should be interviewing agents, as I always say. But anyway, a lender is going to be able to answer the question for you of what options are available to you. And sometimes they need information to know what can fit for you. So how much money do you make? What were your tax returns the last couple of years? That type of stuff. But I'm just going to speak to what's available here, or what I've been running across recently here in the state of Colorado in the Denver metro area. So one of the more common options is CHFA for down payment assistance here. And it's not necessarily first-time homebuyer specific. They may have some programs that are specific to that. They have some other programs that are specific to your income, all that kind of stuff. But CHFA it's CHFA, the Colorado Housing Finance Authority. And they usually have some sort of down payment assistance programs out there. Depending on the timing, they may have different ones available with different perks and benefits and all that good stuff. Sometimes they are grants, which is essentially free money with some strings attached. You always got to jump through some hoops to get free money, of course. And then sometimes they are loans, where essentially they say, okay, we know you can't afford your closing costs of $3,500, your 1.5% to 2% of your purchase price. We know you can't afford the closing costs, but we will help you and we will finance that closing cost into the cost of your loan. Even though the lender requires, maybe 3% down, they say, okay, if you don't have 3% and you can't cover your closing costs, let me help with that, but you do have to pay it back. And sometimes you have to pay a lot for the fees to apply to get that money, and then they will finance those fees for you into that too. So, I'm not a huge fan of CHFA. I don't think it's bad. I think it definitely has its place for when people are in a specific need situation. You definitely need to know what other options you have, though. And right now, I've been doing a lot of first-time home buyers with the Neighborhood Lift program, which is a different program that's available. And it's a very limited time. The last time they did this was 3 years ago, and it was limited to Denver County. Now they're doing it 3 years later, and it's limited to the 5 county metros. So Denver, Adams, Arapahoe, Jeffco, and Douglas. And so, like I said, it's county specific, and there's only so many spots. So they started it in September, and they're just saying, okay, we have so many spots available, and when all those are gone, they're gone, the money's used. So there's only maybe 40 to 50 spots left, so I'm trying to find everybody that wants to buy, because it's a down payment grant. Unlike most CHFA programs where they're loans and there's a lot of fees to apply for them, now it is specific to certain lenders, though. Not all the lenders can do this. So there's a lot of pieces, puzzle pieces you got to understand, which is why you need to talk to your lender. But personally, it's ridiculously amazing. And so when I hear about something like this good, I'm going to let anybody and everybody know so they can take advantage of it, because that's what it's there for, is to help people who want to buy something that need a little help. But it's a $15,000 grant. The strings, because there's always strings, so I'll just throw them out there first. The strings are, you have to make less than so much money a year. I think the income limit is $67,000 for whoever's on the loan. Or if you're a teacher, firefighter, EMT, police officer, they have a list of public servants that they have a higher income limit for, and say, okay, if you're one of these people, but you make up to $83,000 a year, then you can have access to this money. You have a couple of classes you have to go through, and you have some paperwork you have to submit, but you can use it towards your down payment or your closing costs, and however you want to use it amongst that. So, which I think is just, it's ridiculously amazing. I have yet to see something else this good come across. So I've already closed 4 different clients with it. I've got a couple more that I'm putting through the program because it's just amazing. But like the last one, for example, my client that closed last week using Neighborhood Lift as a down payment assistance program. She was a first-time home buyer, but it's not limited to first-time home buyers. It's limited by income. She closed for the cost of her inspection, because that's not typically one of your closing costs. That's something you pay out of pocket up front during the under contract period. And $154. Yes, she had some earnest money that she had to put up front, but her Neighborhood Lift down payment assistance refunded her earnest money and the cost of almost all of her appraisal. So that $154 was part of her appraisal cost and a credit reporting fee that they had to pull a credit report. I'm speechless. Like, it's ridiculously amazing that someone can buy a townhouse, a 2-bedroom townhouse here in the Denver area for $154 out of pocket. And she got a conventional loan because the down payment assistance paid her down payment for her, and it was enough to get a conventional loan at a great rate. So anyway, when there are things like that, I will definitely let all of my clients and friends and anyone that will possibly listen to me know, because it is that good. But that's why if you have questions, call a lender, call your bank, call your realtor, call a couple different realtors. There's a lot of realtors and lenders here in the Denver area that don't know about this because they're not familiar with it. So sometimes just asking around. But anyway, this is kind of a long video. Oh, ridiculously long video at this point. But anyway, there are different down payment assistance programs out there. Definitely check and see what's available in your area at the time you're looking. There's no one answer to this question. It depends on a lot of different things, but call your lender, call your realtor, call a few different realtors, ask around, and even do some searching online. So anyway, if you have any more questions about this, please feel free to leave them down below. Like I said, I'm not a lender. This is not my area of expertise. When I know about something good, I'm going to let people know about it. And it's a question that I get a lot as far as what's my first-time homebuyer option. Okay. If you're liking my videos, please subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to contact me directly, you can do that as well. My contact information is on my website, and the link for that is down below. So thanks so much for the time, and have a great day.